Mute yourself. Make sure you are muted until when we can hear your voice. If anybody speaks, we can hear your voice. So please make sure your background is all muted. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. Good morning and good evening, depending on wherever you are joining us.
Clara, I believe you're on mute.
Good. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, so sorry about that. I didn't know all this fight I was speaking. Okay, so I believe I am unmuted now. Let me just go again. Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you so much for joining us from wherever you are joining us. Today is the Ageism Awareness Day. And today we'll have a panel discussion where we'll be hearing from two older adults who are our panelists and then two younger adults, including myself. We just want to share insight and gain knowledge on what ageism is, how it affects us in Nigeria and older adults globally. So I would just like to also introduce our co-host, who is John Akintoyo, our moderator, Jala Olatiliwa. Sorry if I'm not getting your pronunciation right. Then one of our panelists, Pastor Joseph Odetona and Mrs. Felicia Ayetujo. These are our panelists. So welcome once more. But right before we start, I know I'm already behind our time. I just want to give a definition of ageism. What is ageism? Because we are here because of ageism, today's Ageism Awareness Day. What is ageism? Ageism is the stereotypes which deals with how we think, the prejudice which deals with how we feel, and also the discrimination. So ageism is in three levels. First of all, it deals with how we think, how we feel, and then how we act or react towards others based on their age or even towards ourselves. So it is important for us to know this, how we think, how we feel, and how we act. Lastly, ageism is in three levels. First of all, a person can be ageist or express ageism towards him or herself. So we have self-directed ageism. Also, we have institutional ageism, which is where an institution, an organization makes improper rules or makes some decisions that doesn't favor a particular age group, mostly older adults. So we could hear institutions that says they are not taking people with from this particular age, or if you are from this particular place, you're not taking you. This can be institutional ageism. And lastly, we also have ageism in the workplace. Ageism has a lot of effect, from affecting our health to affecting our psychological being. It could lead the person to withdrawal, depression, to the social effect, and especially in older adults. Ageism has a lot of financial effect because older adults are not gainfully employed, so they cannot offset some financial bills on their own, or they have to lean on their family or other people to provide care and support. So thank you once more just for joining us. I know I've taken more time, but we'll just hear and I hand over now to the moderator. Okay, you can take on now. The host will have to unmute you so that you can speak. We cannot hear you, Ma, if you're still speaking. Okay, yes.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. As I've said, my name is Ajala Oladisilewa, and I'll be asking our panelists some questions. So let's set up. I'll be direct.
Okay, we can hear you, but your background is a little bit noisy. We can hear you. You can go ahead.
Ms. Olachilewa, you have muted yourself. Please unmute yourself so that we can hear you.
Okay, I just think she's trying to get a maybe more comfortable environment. So while we're just trying to wait for her to get a more comfortable environment, we will just go right in. The goal of this is for us to have a panel discussion. We want to hear from older adults themselves, who are two of our panelists, and then younger adults themselves, who is I, myself, and Mr. John. We just want to hear from us. What are the perceptions we have about ageism? What are some negative perceptions we have about older adults? And how do we do this? How do we make things better? How do we improve our intergenerational collaborations? How do we improve the way we react or respond or act towards older adults? So if you're here, you can just go ahead.
Sorry, I cannot hear you very well, ma.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. We're waiting for you.
What did you say, ma?
And go ahead, Ma. We can hear you. Just go ahead.
Okay, yes. Okay, my first question is to Pastor Joseph. The question says that, what do you think is the biggest misperception about older people in Nigeria? Did you get the question, sir? The biggest misperception about older people in Nigeria. Sir, you have to unmute your mic so we can hear what you're saying, sir.
Hello, sir. Sir,
you have to unmute your mic so we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
we can.
You are hearing me?
Yes, sir, we can. Yes, sir.
You said the biggest misperception.
Yes, sir.
About
older people in Nigeria.
The biggest of it all. That is discrimination against the aged ones. And it is a big thing, relegating the adult ones to expired living organisms, which is very, very bad, and it is affecting and sending even people to their early graves. And this is because of I can say the modernization we are into. In those days, the elderly ones are regarded as a source of wisdom, where people go to seek for wisdom. But nowadays, the thing has changed. The aged are being regarded as the spent force. The spent force, those that cannot do anything again. If I can cite an example, during the 2023 election in Nigeria.
You have 1 more minute, sir.
1 more minute. Sorry.
Yes, sir.
And the younger ones are trying to take it over. They call you the oldies. One is the old school. They will tell you old school. That is discrimination on the part of the aged ones. I think you get me.
Yes. And you really mentioned a very important point.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, ma. So Mrs. Felicia, ma. The question is directed to you also, ma. What do you think, ma, is the biggest misperception about older people in Nigeria, ma? Ma, please, you have to unmute your mic so we can hear you, ma.
No, we cannot hear you. You have to unmute your mic. Mrs. Felicia, you have to unmute. There is one red thing, so you have to click on it to unmute. Admin, can you unmute her?
I'm trying to identify so that I could
A50.
I cannot unmute from my end. I can only ask her to unmute.
Okay, ask her to unmute. Ma, we can't hear you. You're speaking, but we can't hear you. You need to locate your mic.
Yeah.
Two buttons under. Okay, you are muted now.
Okay. What I'm saying is that, like in our youth age, we get work and we are training our children. My own is that we have to beg government and tell government to allow our children, to give them better work. When we are old, we are not going to stress ourselves. So if our children have a better work to do, now they can help us. So our old age, we can rest. We will not stress ourselves up and down. But our children did not have a work. Like now, you carry your old age, like age of 40, 50, train your children. But now, after you have retired, or you have about 60 something, about 60 something years of age, and you are still feeding your children, you are still feeding your pay house rent. So that is why. So for this Nigeria, what is my own is that to beg government to give our children, to create better work for our children. So when we are old, we can have something, we can rest. Not as old as about age. Hello.
Thank you very much, Mommy. But thank you very much for that contribution. What I'm trying to ask is that your misperception, things that you think that other people are not, but people think that you are, the stereotypes that they give to other people, the kind of thing that they call other people, the kind of names, the kind of things that they introduce that other people have that they are not. What are that misperceptions? That is what we are trying to ask.
I don't know about that one. Whether it's left for them.
All right. Thank you very much, Ma, for your contribution. So I'll be asking this question to Mr. John Akitayo. As a young adult, what do you believe is the first impression that comes to your mind, or that comes to the mind of young adults when they see or hear about other people? Please, you have 3 minutes to answer your question.
All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ma. Yes, thank you very much. I will say when we talk about older adults, the first thing that comes to mind is that they are old schools, and then their time has passed. So because of this, younger generation no longer see to receive or accept the advices from older adults, seeing that they are not acclimatized with this present modernization system that we have. Most of it in society, you'll see that even the younger adults, they don't give cognizance to older adults. So the first thing that comes to mind of their time has passed away again in the society. So what they are just thinking that she just ban that is somewhere, and she just ban that they don't have any relevance to the community. That is the first thing that comes to the Nigeria youth. That's my contribution from my side.
All right, thank you very much. We can see that it is actually linking. Pastor Joseph actually said that younger people actually view people as old school, and Mr. John actually affirmed that that's what comes to the young adult minds. So we'll be asking this Miss Clara this question. Ma, what are some ways ageism is expressed in healthcare and hospitals?
Okay, thank you, everyone. I so much like this question because definitely I'm in healthcare, I'm a physiotherapist, and ageism doesn't just affect we at work, it goes across every institution, including healthcare. One of the ways that we or healthcare practitioners express ageism in the health industry or in the hospital is sometimes it could be lack of communication to the older adult himself. So a healthcare practitioner can have a patient who is an older adult, and then maybe a caregiver who are accompanying the patient, and he will turn to the younger person who is an accomplice, who is not even the patient, to this person. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So the healthcare practitioner, is directing the questions to the person who is not the patient, because they perceive this older adult not to know what they are having, or not even to even understand what they're having. So this is one of the ways ageism is being expressed. That's in form of lack of communication. And this has an adverse effect, because if we are not hearing from the person that has the condition, but hearing from someone else, it can cause a communication error. One other way that we express ageism in the healthcare industry is, especially on older adults, is withholding access to maybe life-sustaining treatment. There could be an older adult who has a condition, but and somebody else, a younger adult. So we see healthcare practitioners making every effort to rescue the younger adults while leaving the older adult with the thought that, well, this person is already an older adult, so they should be preparing to die, or it's not. We shouldn't put in more effort, especially when the resources are limited. So these are just some of the ways I have seen, and research has also shown that we express ageism in the healthcare to older adults. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for your contribution. Like what I was able to pick from your saying is that older people too has their own, like they can express their sickness. So we should not try and like feel like, okay, this is what they have. They know what they have, and so they should be able to express themselves and talk to the practitioner that, okay, this is what I have, and hope. Okay, thank you so very much. I'll be asking the next question to Mrs. Felicia. Ma, can you hear me very well, ma? Hello, ma. Can you hear me very well? Please, ma, can you unmute your mic?
She's unmuted. Okay, no.
Please, ma, can you unmute your mic, ma? Okay, while we wait for her to unmute her mic, I will go ahead with the next question. So he says, can you share an experience you have had or witnessed where an older person was not treated well or lost an opportunity because of age? Like, we're asking you, ma, to share with us your experience where because of age, a person was not treated well, or because of age, the person was not given a job because the person has passed the age limit, because of the fact that person is like 60 or 70 years old. Have you ever had an ma? Mrs. Alicia, please unmute your mic and answer the question, ma.
I think Pastor can help us answer if he has an answer to this. I think the second panelist, that's Mr. Joseph, can help us to answer the question if Mrs. Felicia is not available.
Okay. Okay, sir. Mr. Joseph, can you hear us, sir? Mr. Joseph, sir. Okay, while we wait for our two panelists, I'll go straight to Mr. John to answer a question. It says, do you believe, to Mr. John, this question is for me, just Mr. John, do you believe other people can go back to school or gain formal education if they desire? This question is based on the fact that you're an adult educator. What do you think is the greatest challenge for older people to go to school to gain formal education? Can you answer the question, please?
Thank you very much, ma. This is actually good to ask this question, educator. Yes, I could actually say from my experience that they have the opportunity to also go to formal education. But these, and because the question you asked me actually is two questions, two in one question, that's can they go to school or formal education, and then what are the challenges, the biggest challenges that actually they face? So this is two in one question that I answer with response. So to answer this there is a theory of Sigmund Freud. That is, it classified human personality into three, and that I will use to explain this answer, these questions. Number one, he said that human personality is divided into three. That number one is the id, number two is the ego, and the number three is the super ego. So the id is the unconscious part of the man that seeks pleasure. So depending, okay, let me just go ahead and explain the theory first. The second one is the ego, and that is the conscious part of a man. And this one actually is about self-consciousness in terms of wanting to live a life of reality, in terms of wanting to have a personality definition, and that is ego. And the third one is super ego. This one is actually connected to the community, to the society. It's a social consciousness in terms of wanting to be connected to what the community will call a person. So, like now, being a chief or being a king, he might want to, okay, let me just add to my education because of the social status that I am. So that they could see that, okay, I have knowledge, I could speak English. And also for the age, the adult learner or the older adults, they can actually say they want to come for education due to pleasure purpose. In terms of they don't have anything to do, let me just come to go and enroll myself in the school and just for pleasure, so they just see it as like a fun. That's something like an age. But ego is about personality. Like I want to be known that yes, I can speak English, I can do well, I can communicate well in the community, and I have this knowledge as well. So these three things determines the questions that was asked. But notwithstanding, let me add this to you that older adults, thank you, man. Let me just add this, man. There's a school that we have for the older adult. It's adult and not formal education. So in my department also carry out literacy education for the older adults. And this older adult is actually classified into three. So they can actually enroll for the adult and not formal education, and they can also enroll for the formal system. So, and for them to be encouraged to enroll for this school, for these classes, we use the method called andragogy, not pedagogy system. So in this, I wrap it up that this is my contribution because of my time. Very much. Can you hear me, ma?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. John, for the contribution. So I'll be asking Pastor Joseph this question again. Oh, yeah, he's online. So, yes, sir. Do you believe, sir, that, okay, no, sir. Can you share an experience? Sir, can you hear me, sir? Pastor Joseph, sir, can you hear me, sir?
Pastor Adetono, please help us unmute your mic, sir. Are you with us, Pastor Adetono?
Are you,
thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, we can hear you now,
I want
sir.
to I said, sir, do you believe older people? Do you believe older? Can you share an experience you had or witnessed where an older person was not treated well or lost an opportunity because of their age, sir? Do you understand the question, sir?
I understand.
I thank you very much, sir.
I can share with you so many experiences I've encountered due to the stigmatization or victimization of elderly persons in the hands of those that termed themselves as youths nowadays. I was in a situation wherein somebody that looked fat, we were working together in the same place, and was given mandatory retirement when the age is not ripe for retirement. So he was misquoted to have acquired the age he did not get up to. So he was asked to go on mandatory retirement when he was not prepared for it. And that affected him. And I can tell you, that person by now is now late because he didn't get over the trauma of being asked to go on mandatory retirement. And that is a policy that as a person, I want to go against, that is affecting aged ones. That capability is supposed to have a measure at which we measure the age at which somebody who has to go on retirement. And that's a stage in life that everybody will get to, being an adult. If is voluntarily retiring, that would be different from a situation where he was asked to go on compulsory retirement. I feel within myself it's a discrimination against that person. If not because it is perceived. Are you getting me?
Yes,
Are you
sir.
getting me? So
Yes, sir.
there was another one. One woman in our locality who at a stage of losing memory. The children were thinking is a witch. Instead of taking the woman for medication, so they were accusing the younger child was saying, "My mother is a witch." The elderly one too was not believing the younger. Instead of taking the woman for a medical attention, so the woman was neglected. She was not given due medications, at least to get over whatever. Even if it were in advanced situation, advanced countries, the woman is supposed to be exposed to medical attention instead of giving her names, a witch, a wizard, or whatever. So these are the things I can tell you I've witnessed as a discrimination against dead ones.
Oh, thank you so much, thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate your contribution. Yes, ma. Mrs. Felicia, ma, can you unmute your mic as we ask you the question, ma? Mrs. Felicia, ma. Okay. This question is for Miss Clara. This question is for Miss Clara, and the question goes thus: as a professional who studies the aging process and older adults, what can you say about aging, ma? Miss Clara, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you so
All
much.
right, thank you, ma.
So, as a gerontologist and someone who has knowledge in the aging field and aging process, there are a lot of things I would want to say about aging and the aging process. The first thing I need to say, or I would like to say, is the the phase of being an older adult is just another season of life. Just as the way we have childhood, from infancy, childhood, then adolescence, adult. It is just another phase, another season of life. And with each season or with each phase of life comes its own peculiarity, the challenges, and the opportunities that is available to that season. So older adults, we need to start embracing the fact that being an older adult is also another season or another phase of life that has its own unique characteristic. That's the first. The second thing I would like to share as a professional in this field is that all older adults are not the same. It's just as the way we are saying that every teenager is the same. Every teenager, they are not the same. They have things that cumulate to their experiences. And older adults, these people have lived 60 years, over above 60. So they have gathered experiences, they have gathered beliefs, mindset. So it is wrong for us to say that all older adults are the same. All older adults are not the same. They have their individual qualities and characteristics. And then finally, the last thing I would is there is greatness in old age. We can tap from their experience, their opportunities, their skills. And that is where intergenerational connection comes in, where we bring people of different generations to come together.
Please, ma, can you unmute your mic? We cannot hear you.
So that's just it. Lastly, I talked about is on intergenerational collaboration. So thank you.
All right, I want to use this medium to inform us that The Zoom meeting will go up in the next 6 minutes. So, and we should stay back and to reconnect all back, or we should use the link to join back when it is exactly 30. So I would just like, I would have to like a little thing to what Miss Clara said. From what she said, I have to believe that aging is not a disease. It's just a normal process of life. Thank you very much. So I would like to, since it seems Rhodesia is not around with us, I would direct this question to Mr. Pastor Adetono again, sir. I want to ask that, what do you believe are some principal ways to fight ageism, protect older people, and promote healthy aging in Nigeria, sir? Do you understand the question, sir?
I quite understand it.
Thank you.
I understand you. Are you getting me? As I, as a person, we want to suggest that there should be intergenerational engagement on the part of the elders, like mentoring the youth, giving them assignments to mentor the youth. As my sister has rightly said, since aged persons are of different degrees, they are not the same. There are a lot of them that we can tap knowledge from. If there could be societal engagement of, putting them in position to mentor youth, like in the olden days, should there be a problem, they run to elders. And that is why one Yoruba adage says, where elders are, the head of the young will not be wobbled. So when they're giving such things and they're able to mentor well, there will be a sort of degree of respect from the youths to people that mentored them. Not that they will not just leave them alone, that they are worthless, they cannot do anything again. A lot of elders can still offer the society a lot of things. So by the time they give them this type of a thing, then the youth will recognize them. Not only that, when it is time for appointment or nominations, there are a lot of them we can still run back to, who will now give us insight into how to do things. Like some people are born, they have trained to be administrators. Don't just let us, because they are 60, they are 65, they are 60 something, we now neglect them. When we give them things to do, challenges to do, we will see, look at foreign countries. Trump is trying to still contest back at what age? He's not left alone. He's coming back to offer some things. Look at the current president of America. Biden is how old? We all know. So he's still having things to offer. Some youth in Nigeria even went against our own President Bola Tinubu in 2023. And by the grace of God, is now there. So elders can still offer us. By the time we give them posts to do, assignment to do, there will be a sort of respect from the youth to them. But when we condemn them, they will now say they are old schools. Their time had passed. So I think with these 3 points of mind, and legislation too, laws that will enforce, that will make people to give respect to elders, I think it has to be done on the part of our legislators. Thank you. God bless you.
All right, Martha. Thank you so much, sir, for your contribution. I thought if Mrs. Felicia has anything to say. Mrs. Felicia, ma. I think she has issues with her network. So the Zoom will be going up in the next 1 minute. So let's go to the connect, to click on the back, or to wait for Zoom to be back. So with everything that we've been saying, I've actually gained a lot of things. Number one is the fact that elders are also capable of doing those things that we thought we should not. So we should not just stereotype them that because they are old, they are not able to work in government offices. They're not able to do things. So government, elderly people should be given opportunity to also work in parastatal.
Hey, ó parí.
Let's bear in mind that this meeting would end in a minute, but we can also rejoin back immediately with the same link. We can also rejoin back immediately. Okay. Our moderator was saying, okay, so the last panelist, that's Pastor Joseph, he made an important point. Part of the principles or part of the things he pointed out on how we can.
I could barely hear you very well, ma.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, your voice is very low. I don't know why.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but your voice is very low.
Oh, it's very low. Wow. Okay, sorry about that. So I'll just say,
I will reconnect. I swear that it is not true.
is this still very low? Is this still very low?
Let him check his device. It's not very low.
Okay. It's fine then. So I said something. Our last speaker, that's Pastor Joseph, he pointed out a very important tool. His question, the last question we asked him was, what are some of the ways he believed that we can promote older adults, we can take care of our older adults, especially in Nigeria? The first thing he pointed out is in the fact that we need intergenerational collaboration. We need people of different age, especially the younger adults. So when the younger adults are working closely, maybe there is an activity, there's a project, it helps to build that reference and that honor to the older persons, because these older persons they have wisdom, they have knowledge. So it is important that we bring in intergenerational collaboration. It is very important. And he also mentioned something which is very important, is on the fact that we need to, we need to start doing the very opposite. Instead of taking out responsibilities from older adults and saying they are not good enough, we need to start giving them responsibilities. We need to start letting them take responsibility, do things, provided they are still strong enough to do them. It is important. So we don't just say that because this person is already 60 or 65, if he used to draw or he used to travel as he used to, you automatically say you cannot travel anymore or you cannot do this anymore because you are already 60. There are a lot of persons that are above 60, 70, and they are way strong. Lastly, he mentioned on the part of laws, we need to have regulations that protect our older adults, which is an important thing. This is where policies, our government comes in. We need to have regulations. We need to have things that protect them. Because most times I see that we're always having to protect the youth, the teenagers. We're always making effort, even when that is good. Of course, I'm still a young adult, but we also need to factor in regulations, things, policies, cares in every aspect, in health, in social, even in education, that would protect older adults and will give them this privilege. So thank you very much, Sir Pastor Joseph. We really learned a lot from your contribution, and it's just so great to have you speak to us. Over to you, our moderator. I was just waiting for you to join in, ma.
All right, thank you very much, ma. Thank you for the contribution, ma. So we'll be taking questions from the participants if you have our panelists. So do we have anyone that has questions? Is there any question from the participant for our panelists or for the host and the co-host, for Ms. Sarah and Mr. John?
Okay. May I have one important, not really question, but like a suggestion.
Okay.
You can go ahead, sir.
Okay. I want to first of all salute the organizers of this gathering. And I pray God Almighty will uphold everyone that is participating in this one.
Amen.
Are we together?
Yes, sir, we are.
We are together.
Yes, sir.
I want to quickly suggest that this piece should not, this show should not be limited to academic work alone. If it can be heard outside for people of wider coverage to hear this, I want to suggest you don't limit it to academic work alone and submit to one department and let it rot there. But to go out and let people hear because this is an important aspect of our existence that you people are treating. The other one, which is not part of today, is that of the widow. Our angle to that aspect too. But this one too is very, very important. The way we deal with aged. I believe Uncle John will bear with me. We live in the same locality where one aged woman was about drowned in a river that is very close to us. When the children drove the woman outside in the dead of the night, I think when this type of thing goes wide and wide, so many other people will have the knowledge. Some people don't even they are not aware of what we are talking about. Arugbo, what is aged? What is ageism? They don't understand. But by the time this one go beyond this point, all other people will get aware. The awareness is needed on the part of Nigerians. I think you got me.
Yes,
sir.
sir. Thank you very much,
Thank
sir. Actually, this contribution got me thinking about the fact that why do we now have our aged people, like why they are like that? Yeah, now that they are witch, like they are witch. Why don't stand that the male aged too? They are also witch. Why is that only the female aged that we always term as witch? If they are age where they are witch, why is that only the female aged always with the female that are witch? Why the male aged I didn't know that they are wizards. Can you just give us in 1 minute, sir? Can you just give an answer to that if you have that?
The voice is standing twice. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know whether it is at my end or it's standing twice, like echoing.
Why is it that it's only the female aged that they are called witches? Why are not the male aged? Why are they not called wizards? Why is there a stereotype concerning the male aged alone?
Thank you. I get you now. You see, that's another, let me say, it is a local or family factors. I think because the female agent to go and stay and nurture the grandchildren. The grandfather is not always with the extended family. The family of the young, the family of the children, where they are giving birth to grandchildren. It is the mother that will go and stay with them. They go and stay with their child in the house of the husband. Their children, so, and they are the ones that are prone to such accusations because they will not want any bad thing to happen to their children. Maybe they will not be telling the wife, that is the daughter-in-law, what they don't want, and they will not tag them to be witches. The man has not been given, they are not occupying such a position where they will have to go to their children to go and nurture children. It's only the women. I think you understand it.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for your contribution. Thank you very much, sir. So I will hand over now to Mr. John.
It's all right.
Okay. Thank you very much. From the host to our panelists. Thank you to everyone that's actually joined. We are really grateful. Thank you very much for taking time out of your time because there's no free time actually. So we have to just use time to attend this webinar so that we could get knowledge. So it is essential. Knowledge also comes with costs. It costs us our data to contribute to BA. Thank you very much, everyone. Also, this meeting will be is already recorded, is on recording as and it will be sent to be uploaded on LinkedIn on the Miss Clara LinkedIn and I, and also for those that want to receive this recording to their email, should send their email addresses to the chat box so that we can actually trap it and then send the recording to our emails. Please let us notice. Okay. So from my end, before we leave, I would just want to leave us with some facts. And the facts are, number one, seniors, in terms of senior citizens or other adults, are capable of adapting and learning new things, and doing so can have health benefits such as improving their memories. Fact two, older people are at increased risks of dementia, but that does not mean it is a normal part of the aging process. And there is plenty you can do to keep, we have responsibility to do to keep their memory sharp, to keep their memory refreshed. Fact number three, depression isn't a natural or inevitable part of aging either. In fact, younger adults tend to have higher rate of depression than older adults. Fact four, people can continue to be physically active as they age. Yes, it is 100%. I have older adults that can actually point out to that they are aged, but they are still very young, physically active. In fact, it's never too late to start becoming more active. No, older adults should not relegate themselves because they are now getting and now relaxed. No, exercise can improve physical and mental health as well as help manage chronic conditions. Just be sure to choose exercises that enjoy and that they can stick with. So these four facts I leave with us. So older adults, they have important role to maintain orderliness in the community, to maintain orderliness in the younger families, because they have wealth of experiences and they have repertoire of knowledge. So this fact I leave with us is a food for thought. Yes, let me put it that way. It's a food for thought. Thank you very much. So I don't know whether Miss Clara has one or two words to say before we call it a day. Thank you very much, also our moderator. Thank you for your time.
Okay,
so, Mr. What have you have anything to say?
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. It's just such a fulfilling feeling that I have, and I believe we all have, discussing this about ageism, about our older adults, and on the thing that concerns our older adults. I want to encourage us, let this discussion not stop here. Be intentional about speaking for and with the older adult. The mindset that we have that older adults are not useful, or they are now old, they can't do anything, is wrong. In an older adult lies wisdom, lies experience, lies values, lies skills. So we can put up our heads together to ensure that we make the environment a better place for older adults. We are currently in the United Nations Decade of Healthy Aging. So aging is not just all about what we speak, including their psychological aspect of their aging, the health, the physical. So it is our collective effort as younger individuals and as older adults to see that we play an important role and we ensure that our older adults are strong and they are safe. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. And would, as much as possible, we'll share this to every person we can get to. And we'll also encourage you to do the same. If you have your network, your connections, your organizations, do well to please share this across. Thank you, everyone. So I will be stopping.
All right, don't let us forget to send our email addresses to the chat box.
And also thank you to all our panelists, Mrs. Felicia, Pastor Joseph. Thank you so much. It was just great hearing from you people, hearing from the older adults in our midst and just knowing what people have to say, so that it won't be, okay, these are just the younger people saying. We've heard it from our panelists, Mrs. Felicia and Pastor Joseph, on why we need to do more in helping the older adults and creating policies, creating intergenerational collaboration, creating jobs opportunities for the younger adults so that they can also take care of the older adults who are not able. Of course, older adults are strong, but there are some who may not be able to take care of themselves, and this is where job opportunity comes in. So with that, we'll come to the end of this panel discussion. Thank you. We'll end it right away.